Broken or chipped windshields. Yeah, they're a problem. Nobody loves to replace their windshield. No one loves to repair their windshield for a multitude of reasons. It's expensive and you're never going to get it back to that OEM quality seal. So odds are good you're gonna end up having some leaks or some wind noise. It's just a hassle. So how do we get around having to replace windows for chips or cracks or other damage? Well, there's an answer, and it's called XPEL Windshield Protection. Yeah, it finally arrived, guys. Just like paint protection film, XPEL now makes a film that will protect your windshield. We're gonna talk about all of it in today's video. So we're gonna start out by looking at the C8 Corvette Z06, even though today's video is not about the Z06. The same thing we're about to have done on the TRX was already done to my C8 Corvette Z06, and it was done at Corvettes at Carlisle before this product was really even available for sale. You guys know how much I am a fan of the paint protection film from XPEL. It helps protect your paint, keep it looking brand new, and it's a lot cheaper to replace a piece of XPEL than it is to repaint a car. So XPEL is a big, big must-have in my opinion. But there's been one area where they've been lacking, and that was windshield protection. Believe it or not, I've gotten a ton of questions about protection on the windshield and whether or not XPEL offers it. They really haven't up until just recently. There's been other options on the market, but none of them have been really great. I've tested out a bunch of them myself, and so has Blackout Tinting, and they haven't really been fantastic. But this one from XPEL seems to be worth it. I've had this on here now since August of 2024. It is now about halfway through January. I have no issues with it. You can't even tell it's on here. The transparency or clarity is super, super high. You can't really tell anything's on the windshield. And just like your paint, if a rock flies up and hits it, it's going to protect the windshield. It's not going to allow it to crack the windshield. It's going to disperse the impact area so it doesn't all focus on one area to crack the glass. It's going to kind of disperse it out, which is ultimately what the XPEL does on your paint as well. And you can tell by looking at like the edges of the window here, it is totally invisible. So we are going to jump into TRX, head up to Blackout Tinting, and talk a little bit more about this in detail. But I did want to mention I have been testing this for roughly 6 months now. So this is definitely something that I am going to recommend in the future. But let's go up to Blackout Tinting and get a little bit more of the detailed side of this thing done. Like I said, guys, today's video is not about the C8 Corvette Z06 or any Corvette. Other than the fact that I have the windshield protection on my Corvette, today's video is all about this bad boy right here, the RAM TRX. We are going to get some windshield protection on this truck because, believe it or not, this truck is totally outfitted with XPEL paint protection film, ceramic coating, and the good high-end ceramic XR Plus window tint. We need to also protect the windshield, but there's more. There is a lot of benefits to the windshield protection film. We're going to talk about all of them today. Good God, look at the girth of these tires. I love it. The TRX, such a beast. Oh, these things are freaking huge. And special guest of the day, guys. Here's Onyx. He's taking a trip with us. He needs a grooming. He's a shaggy boy, huh, bud? You like the TRX? You like the TRX? Say yes. Oh, you're a cute little guy, but you're gonna look better in a second. Get you all groomed up.
2 seconds later.
All right, so we dropped off Onyx. Now, we get to have a little bit of fun with the truck. Listen to this thing sing. Gotta love it. Blackout Tinting, here we come. And just like that, guys, we are at Blackout Tinting. So you know you're at Blackout Tinting whenever you look around and see freaking awesome cars everywhere. So this is Josh's Lambo. This is Josh's brand new GT3 RS. Well, brand new to him. It has very, very low mileage on it. But he just got these cars wrapped, protected. Of course, he runs the shop. He believes in the product, just like I do. This stuff, it works. I mean, it's just that simple. But the cars here are always really cool. We got a really... I've always loved these cars. Whenever I was a kid, I wanted my dad to buy one of these so bad, but there's like no leg room in the back. If you've ever seen the back seat, so as a kid, you know, we had, my parents had 4 kids, so looking down in there, yeah. Imagine being a little kid sitting back there. I mean, it'd be tight, but regardless, these things are friggin' absolutely awesome cars. This one over here is just got a wrap. It was black. Now it's getting wrapped to red. That one up there is partially done with like a rose gold. Yeah, and then we got my TRX over there about to get the windshield film going down. So the cool thing about the XPEL windshield protection film, they're actually cutting it right now, but this is the cool thing. there's actually a pattern for it. So you don't really have to hand cut this thing on your windshield anymore. You actually get the pattern set up, and the pattern that they used on my C8 Corvette Z06 at Carlisle was literally perfect. You literally cannot see an edge. It is really amazing what this stuff is capable of whenever it's cut appropriately. So they're cutting it now, and as you can see, it is very clear, which is obviously what we want here. Optical clarity is the biggest difference between this and your PPF film, but we're going to talk to Josh about all of the differences here in a second. You don't realize how big the windshields are on these cars until you see this kind of thing. That's how big it has to be for the windshield. You gotta love Pennsylvania weather. They had to clean off the front fender. Look how freaking dirty this thing. This truck was clean like a day ago. Look at the salt. That's an incredible amount of salt right there.
It's so clear, it's hard to see it. Yeah. When I'm pulling this.
That's what I was saying. The clarity is the biggest difference between this and PPF.
Absolutely.
You got to be able to see through this stuff.
That's the reason it took them so long to develop it. They could do the rock chip resistance, obviously, but the clarity with a film that's not impossible to install took a very long time.
So like I said, guys, there's been other films on the market, but Josh will tell you in a little bit, they're either super hard to install or they don't last. So this has been the first film that has so far been easier to install and seems to be lasting pretty well. So yeah, that's why we're making this video today.
Now I don't know how the heck I'm going to get it up there.
Right. I'll let you get on your side first. 1, 2, 3.
Big truck.
Yeah.
She's a big girl.
Compared to where windshield film was 2 years ago, this is astounding. It's almost impossible to believe.
So he's just using some spray alcohol right now to kind of tidy up the edges, make sure everything's stuck down, but that's pretty much the install. So we're going to talk to Josh about the specifics of all this stuff because it is a little bit different than what you would expect out of paint protection film or window tint. So let's go let's hit him up. All right, so you heard there Josh was saying about how easy that was to apply. Now I had actually seen him apply some of the other stuff before. The stuff that gets a little bit more difficult to install, I watched him actually go through, I think, 3 different windshield films on my C7 Corvette because it's that hard to install. This stuff has been a long time coming, and I know a lot of you guys out there are going to be like, well, how is it so much different from PPF? It is massively different because it has to be optically clear and a couple other things, but we're going to talk to him about the differences here in a second because, like I said, it is not just PPF on your windshield. Though it acts similar, it's not the same thing. All right, guys, so here we are with Josh. He is the owner of Blackout Tinting. He is the expert here. We're going to ask him a couple questions about the windshield protection film because that's what this video is all about. We're about the details here. So, Josh, tell me, what is the main difference between PPF, paint protection film, and the windshield protection film?
PPF is designed to go on paint, obviously. Although it needs to be clear, it does not need to be windshield clear. So for a long time now, people have been making windshield protection films out of basically the window film style material because that's the only thing that's been optically clear enough to do that. The problem is that it's really hard to install. So it's almost like a residential or commercial security film, the same film that we put on like schools and hospitals to stop people from breaking in and slowing entry. That's what has historically been around. But since recently, XPEL's been working on this formula for a very long time. It's a TPU style, which is like PPF, but not the same. So I don't know, from the construction standpoint, I'm not sure exactly what's different, but what I can tell you is it's more like a hybrid between the two. It's way more rigid than PPF. It's not as stretchy, not as flexible, more susceptible to tear if you're stretching it, but because it's more rigid, it's more impact resistant, in my opinion, than the PPF is.
Why is the impact resistance such a big player here? So paint protection film and windshield protection film both tout impact resistance. Give me an idea of what that is.
Yeah, good question. So any of these materials, if something big enough, sharp enough, or fast enough hits it, it's probably going to damage it. That's the one caveat we tell everybody. If you're going 150 miles per hour on a racetrack and something the size of a quarter flies up and hits the car, it's probably going to damage the film and maybe even penetrate the film. But the vast majority of those thousands of chips that you get, all the little ones that are all over the front end of your car, those are the ones that the films are designed to stop, and they do a really good job at it. So impact resistance, of course, is paramount, because without that technology, and the way that it works, it absorbs those impacts. That's why the films are flexible. They take that energy and basically disperse it. It's like padding, basically. If you've ever played with the material, it's thick. You could squeeze it, and that's where that impact resistance comes from. Now, with those harder shell materials that we really don't like to use, and we don't anymore, it's not that way. It's more like a physical barrier that just it gets smashed instead, I guess, instead of the window. A lot of people are going to say, why would you protect your windshield? A lot of states, they do windshield replacement for free with insurance, or maybe it's a $50 deductible or $100 deductible. But some of these cars, I'm looking at a picture of a Lamborghini Revuelto that we worked on right behind Justin, and it's probably a $15,000 windshield that insurance probably makes you take special deductibles on. On my Gallardo, I had to agree to a special deductible. It's like $4,000 or something like that, even though the policy is a typical $1,000. They wouldn't do it if I didn't do that. So much higher deductible, but also, who on earth do you trust to put a new windshield in your Revuelto? If you call Safelite and they show up, they might mess up on your Dodge Ram. They're certainly not going to know what they're doing on their Revuelto. And what happens if they set a blade down on your dashboard while they have the windshield out, and it cuts your dashboard, and now you have a $40,000 problem? So I think a lot of people don't realize the peace of mind by not having to get the windshield replaced is more valuable than the money that you're spending on the film.
Very true. That's why we're here today, because even though I could get a replacement windshield for the Dodge Ram for probably $1,000, $2,000, I don't know. I've never even priced it out, but I don't care if it was 50 cents.
Right.
The idea of installing that is going to leave me with potential leaks, potential wind noise. It's not going to ever fit like OEM did. It's just not possible. Does this film offer self-healing properties the way paint protection film does?
It does, and that's still sort of up for debate as far as longevity is concerned. We know with PPF that it's going to last you a long time, and so are those self-healing properties. The windshield protection film, there's not as much testing or time period. But yes, short answer, it does.
XPEL paint protection film comes with a 10-year warranty. What is the warranty on the windshield protection?
So as far as I know, I think they're the only company that's offering a warranty on windshield protection, unless others have changed since XPEL did that. 12-month, 12,000 mile. Does not cover damage, doesn't cover wiper damage, but it does cover yellowing, peeling, cracking. Delamination is a big problem with a lot of windshield films. So on my GT4, I had a different company's film on there for a little while, and it literally blew chunks of it off when we hit it with a pressure washer. It just delaminated, and you could see it, and it's like a thin sheet, and now the windshield was like blotchy, so it's guaranteed to not do that kind of stuff.
For a full XPEL paint protection film wrap, you're usually around $6,000, $6,500. Is that about right?
On the low end, and depending on where you're at in the country, yeah.
Yep. And then for the windshield protection, at least with blackout tinting, you would charge what?
Typically right around $500.
And now, guys, this is a price that's good for Miami, too. So if you guys decide to come down to the South Florida shop, we will have this there as well. So protection all around, and I don't know. I think that's pretty much it, though. So thanks for taking the time, Josh.
Yeah, for sure. And side note, if you're getting PPF and all that other stuff, we usually do a package deal with the windshield protection film. It's a little bit cheaper than that.
There you go. Okay, awesome. I appreciate it.
You got it? Before you guys leave, you have to check this out. So this is a vinyl wrap. We're changing this from white to this rose gold color. Sakela over here, one of the best wrappers I have ever seen. We linked up with her last year. She flies all over the place to do some vinyl wrap work for us. She's the one wrapping stuff at our South Florida location. So if you want to change the color of your car, call us. She's the one that's going to do it. Check this out.
Yeah, come see me.
Yeah, guys, honestly, when I walked in here, I didn't even know Sakela was here, and I was looking at this thing. I was like, man, that looks like freaking paint. She is really good. She's done a bunch of cars for us down in Florida, so come down if you need a vinyl color change, PPF, windshield protection. We do it all down there. Check out the links in the description down below. If you guys are going to be able to handle this, but this is 2 dogs in one video. 2 dogs. This is Minion. This is kind of the shop dog here at Blackout Tinting. He is taking a load off right now because he walked about 5 feet. He is exhausted. Gotta love wintertime in Pennsylvania. Just like a constant stream of water just pouring off my truck. I'm guessing there's ice and snow built up somewhere, but yeah. Winter. All right, guys, so that's pretty much it. It is done. And as you can see, or really can't see, The protection is on there. If we get super close here, I might be able to show you an edge. Yeah, you can kind of see it right there. Boy, it's tight though. It's basically right on the side of the glass here. It is basically invisible, and that's what we want. So I'll be able to see right through it. And coming in the truck, looking out through. Perfect optical clarity, guys. So this thing is going to offer all kinds of protection. I believe there is some UV protection as well. I will verify that and put it on the screen here, because if it does protect from UV the way I think it does, it's going to help premature aging and problems with your leather on the inside of your car as well. So this thing does it all. It has legitimately been about 5 minutes and it's still going. Should I be concerned? On the way home now, guys, just wanted to give you an idea of the optical clarity here. It is like looking through the windshield without anything on it. It is really, really a nice piece. I can't tell that it's even on there. It's offering protection. As you heard Josh say, it kind of spreads out the impact area, so it's less likely to crack your windshield if a rock flies up. It's gonna protect it from chipping, all that good stuff. I'm really liking it. So we're gonna head home, and I'm going to give you my final thoughts on this, and then we're gonna wrap this thing up.
5 minutes later.
At the house here, and yeah, I'm pretty impressed with that product. You can see right through it. There's no distortion. It's definitely going to do something for protection as well, because obviously XPEL knows a thing or two about protecting your car. Now, obviously, I have XPEL on pretty much every car I own. My ZR1, my Z06, my TRX. I had it on my Cadillac, on my C6 Z06. I've had XPEL on pretty much every car I've ever owned in the last 10 years or so. So I'm a big fan of the protection that XPEL offers. Obviously, XPEL knows a thing or two about the protection. And now with them offering the windshield protection, I feel like this is something everybody kind of needs at some point, because there's just no way that you're ever going to have a windshield completely replaced and not have a problem with it. It just seems inevitable. So instead of going that route, get it protected and have less of a chance of ever having that pop up. Now, I say less of a chance, but in reality, it's going to protect it to the point where you're not really going to have much of a problem with your windshield in the future. I actually had some windshield protection, some stuff we were testing on my 2020 C8 Corvette when I was driving down to Miami, and sure enough, I caught a really big rock. I mean, I'm talking quarter-sized rock at probably 80 miles an hour. I thought for sure the windshield was cracked. I got out and looked at it, and it barely affected the film, let alone the windshield. So this stuff works. It's that simple. It's just whether or not you can find the perfect film that is going to be easy to install, it's going to last, and it's going to work, and it's not going to yellow or look like crap. This stuff so far on my C8 Z06, it's been roughly 6 months. It's been perfect. So I think this stuff is the way to go. Anyway, we will be offering it in Florida as well if you want to come down to the South Florida store, or either one of the 2 locations up here in Pennsylvania. As you can see, it's that time of year, so yeah, come get it done. Get your windshield protected. It doesn't matter when you want to do it. All the locations will be offering it. Check out the links in the description down below if you want to check this out for yourself. Smash the thumbs up button if you liked what you saw here today, guys. And as always, stay obsessed.